Hi guys, this is Victoria from Mindfulness and I welcome you to my channel if you're new. Today I wanted to talk about connection with nature. We hear it so many different times in different aspects of our life. We are being advised that it's healing, it's inspiring. We are being told that it's an integral part of our life and reminding ourselves the connection with the whole universe through our conversations with nature, but nobody says a lot about how you can do it, or as much as how can it be inspiring or healing for you specifically. So today I want to bring this up, give you some hints, some ideas, and hopefully this will empower you to spend more time outside, more time in connection with nature and building this relationship. I'm actually in my backyard right now, and you can even hear there's a jazz event happening in the courtyard in another side of our building. But it's still very refreshing. I'm glad that the weather is wonderful, and on this day, it's Sunday where I am right now, and I just felt guided to use this time today for strengthening this channel of communication, for improving this relationship with nature. This is so easy to forget about, especially as we hustle through a lot of responsibilities as we live in big cities, and a lot of times nature isn't that accessible to us anyway. But it's important to make an effort, and it will pay back tenfold if you invest a little more attention to it. So first and most important part when you are in nature, when you're doing the connection, right? So now switching to, so what, I'm in nature now, how do I connect, right? What do I do exactly? I'm here, what's next? So first and foremost, it's important to live in the moment, to be present. And I've actually shared quite a few techniques in my blog and in some of my videos on the channel on how to stay present, how to get grounded, right? It's all the same topic, right? Because you can't get grounded without living in the moment and coming back to the now. So this is directly connected actually. When you're in nature, then your senses are your biggest help. I mean, of course you can use any of the techniques, but our senses get stimulated more because there's wind, then there is that we can feel on our body, there is sunshine that we can feel directly as well, immediately. There's the smell of trees and flowers, right? We can hear birds singing, or even we can hear the wind, right? All of these aspects, they help bring you into the moment. If you have animals, herds around them as well, right? Observing them, focusing on them without even a lot of analysis, but just kind of like noticing what their day is about, right? What are they up to? How are they exploring this world? How are they making their living, right? What kind of troubles do you think they hustle about? So that's an important part. Without it, it's gonna be hard to do anything beyond this. And then of course the meditative practice or prayer or whatever version of it is especially healing and calming during this time. If you have a chance to be barefoot on the ground and connect with the ground, that's beneficial. Or you can lay down on the lawn if you have a chance, that as well. You can just at least be touching the plants, something that's gonna kind of bring extra energy to you and whatever it is that you're doing with your meditation or prayer experience. One of the famous meditative experiences that are known in the nature is called forest bathing. I actually mentioned it, I think it's on my Instagram, because I did that last year. Because a lot of you know that I'm a big fan of your botanical garden. They actually have an audio tour that is dedicated to forest bathing, because they have part of the botanical garden that is called the forest, and you can actually go in and they kind of guide you through different steps and places where you move on, and they give you like a guided meditation. They give you some instructions on what to do and how to embrace the energy of the forest and like this experience of forest bathing, where you're like swimming in the forest, right? It's not about what I was talking about, but it was a little bit more focused on specifics when you're in the forest. So you can look it up online. I'm sure that there is a lot of information. It's actually a Japanese tradition. There's a lot of info there, and you can look it up and you can make it happen, even if you're not literally in the forest. But if you have a park or even a nice backyard with some trees, some plants, I'm sure you can make it happen there, as long as you can get some peace and quiet, and you can really get into this connection with nature. Of course, the important source of information is different books and documentaries about nature. And I've been talking a lot about plants, but it applies to animals as well, to landscapes, to like entire ecosystems, right? So especially if you know that you'll be traveling somewhere exotic, somewhere interesting, where the nature, the climate is going to be different from what you're used to, it's very useful to watch some documentaries or to read some books or information about flora and fauna in that area, so that you can be more observant, more aware of what's going on around you. You can really appreciate it when you're there, not like from the perspective of, oh wow, that's interesting, like, oh, I've never seen a bird like that before, but you can actually be aware of what this bird is about, why are they in this area, are they friendly or not, right? Like, it's a completely different kind of relationship, the same way as, if you're spending time with a stranger, or it's somebody that you have some information about, that you have some resonance towards. And of course, you can then pick and choose specific things you want to focus on. That's also useful. If there's like a lot, the stimuli are overwhelming, right? You can focus on certain things that are of interest to you or that you feel closer to. Another important part is, of course, getting into a good spot where you can relax. Like this, for example, right here, this is like a wooden table and bench by the grill. Maybe not the best spot if I wanted to do a meditative experience, because there is an energy of a lot of like food and fun and celebration. I'm pretty sure some people were celebrated something here last night. So yeah, really follow your intuition on where is the good spot for you, where's your spot, right? And it doesn't have to be something that is specifically designed for it, but even if you can I don't know, put a blanket on the ground, on the grass, and sit down there. Or even bring like a collapsible chair or something and put it somewhere where you feel the energy is good, it feels good, you want to be there, you want to stay for a bit longer. That's important. Yeah, so I already mentioned watching animals. Bird watching is like almost like a kind of sports these days, especially if you are close to the forest and have a chance to go there. It can be magical. And again, make sure that you know what kind of birds to look out for in the area. You can use your binoculars or any other devices that you have, so you can actually spot them better. And notice their lifestyle, how their day is going by. Sometimes it's good in order to kind of keep this moment present, is to be still, or at least in one spot, and notice and observe. And sometimes it's good to move around, to be dynamic. For some people more than for others, depends on your temperament and what you're used to. So if you're more of an active person, you would much rather enjoy a walk, hike, or a run in nature, or even a cycle. If there is a chance, if it's a park, why not, right? But it's just as powerful, especially if movement is your meditation. I mean, I'm actually like that myself, and I don't necessarily make time to sit on the same spot every day and connect, but I definitely do my walks every day, and I make sure that I go out. We have a riverside nearby. I'm going to show you in a bit what it looks like, and I make sure that I do that when I go there, and I appreciate the nature that I see on my way to the riverside and while I'm walking along the river, because there's of course additional stimuli with the birds. We have geese, we have seagulls that are having their fun around the river, and you would ask, why around the river? Because we're close to the ocean, of course. There's like more stuff going on there basically. There are actually some river animals too, but you really have to look for them. They're not that frequent. Having a picnic might be a good idea. Again, depends on how your senses work, what is important to you, how do you perceive information. Are you audio, visual, or sensual, like kinesthetic, right? It will make a difference. But they say that, you know, food is usually twice as good when it's eaten in nature, and I totally agree with it. And I appreciate having all these tables here that allows us to have meals outside when the weather is good, whether it's you grilling something on the actual grill, or just preparing something, bringing it out, or even having a sandwich while you're reading a book, right? It gives an extra jolt of energy and this joyful vibe when you're having food outside. There's just something magical about it. The next part is connected with bodies of water, and I have a quick video for you to see the body of water that I'm close to right now. But generally speaking, it can be, so for me it's a river, but generally speaking, it can be any body of water: lake, river, ocean, sea, pond, even a fountain. If you are in the city center and there's no way for you to get to the river for some reason, or a lake or something like that, then it can even be a fountain, a public fountain. I wouldn't say it works as well, but it's pretty good. It's still pretty good. And water has special healing powers, and it can really set you on for that sort of inner peace and feeling of calm, even if you had a bad day, if you've been around a lot of heavy energy. It helps cleanse that. Of course, you can swim in the body of water. That's 5 times better for sure. But even if you're just watching it, it already has a lot of healing experience for you. For me, it's always been wondrous how bodies of water actually impact our feeling of calm, inner peace, and ability to heal anxiety, fear, and any immediate troubles that we feel in the moment. It has a very tranquil and even meditative feeling. Whether it's a river, a lake, the ocean, the sea, whatever you have next to you, or even a fountain if you are somewhere in the city center. Staying next to it and spending a few minutes just finding your calm, finding your center does magic. And of course, it's especially pleasant on a hot day like this. Another idea that I have for you is watching sunrise and sunset. This is one of the miracles that we can see around. Hopefully you have a view of either one of those things somewhere where you are, or you can even plan a trip, or it's going to be part of your hike maybe to see a sunrise or sunset somewhere beautiful, right? And the sun itself has, to me, for example, sun has huge healing power, right? I can feel when the sun is shining, I immediately feel energized, and if I'm sitting in the sun, if I'm sunbathing, which I'm actually going to do today as well in a little bit, I immediately feel like it's sort of like grazing my and caressing my skin, and it's almost like calming me down and letting me know that everything is good, I'm loved, and I have so much love to give to the world. And it just has this great healing power. To me, it's, you know, like the sun card we talk about in tarot, this is that sort of idea, but the sun immediately gives it to you. Like the sun is so generous with that kind of power. So yeah, sunrise and sunsets are beautiful in its own way. My favorites this year are sunsets in Hawaii. That was amazing. But I actually have pretty good disposition to see sunsets in from my windows as well, because I live on the 4th floor and my windows are going out to the west, so I actually see sunrise against the city skyline. So that's pretty cool too. I probably don't need to say too much about camping. You probably understand that if you have chance to spend more time in nature than just a walk or just spending a couple of hours, if you can spend a few days, that's a lot better. It's not for everyone, including myself. I mean, I can do a little bit of camping, but it's not my favorite thing, so depends how it is for you. But if you're going by yourself, you can also include additional, like, can be some fasting practice that you can use, right? You can use your own, like, I don't know, inner child work and chakra cleansing practices that you can work on in the wild, in nature, and will have so much more power to it. You can see the night sky. If you're in nature, it's usually so much better than seeing it in the city where there's a lot of light pollution and just general pollution. So yeah, it's amazing from all sides. So and of course, if you're going with someone, make sure that it's someone that you are vibing with, that you appreciate, and you can definitely strengthen, improve your relationship and make them more, probably closer and more intimate through this kind of experience. Nature will be helping you. If you don't have a chance to actually go to nature, at the very least you can add some plants to your home. And yeah, there are a lot of places where you can go these days, where you can even get consultants that will help you pick the right plants depending on your character, on feng shui of your home. Well, at the very least, depending on how much sunlight you have and what kind of window disposition you have, right? Because that can be pretty important for some of the plants. So that already will provide this extra vibe. Obviously it's great because it's cleaner air, but also it will be helping you. It will be turning on this mode where you can just stand still, you can pause for a sec, no matter how busy your day is, and just observe, stay calm, stay in the moment, stay present, and enjoy the silent conversation with nature. You can also take part in protecting nature, and there are a lot of volunteer initiatives to plant new trees or conservation of some species out there that you can be part of, or at the very least it's some initiatives connected with removing litter from bodies of water, from parks, from forests, all kinds of ways of how you can be part of it and actually get outside in nature while you're doing it. Some people need it to be more meaningful than just doing meditation for ourselves. There's nothing wrong with it. You can always add that extra meaning in different ways. A good idea is to have a nature journal. I mean, journaling is one of my favorite techniques for spiritual growth and inner child work anyway. Nature journal could be you specifically focusing on your observations while you're in nature, of nature and of yourself in nature. Important part, because you're part of nature too, remember that. So whatever feelings come up for you, emotions, they are equally important. And of course, one other way to be more conscious of what time in nature is doing for you, how important it is about sharing your experience with other people. So yeah, make sure that if you don't journal, at least you talk to someone, in some way, shape or form, you share with close people what it was about, what exactly you saw, what were the highlights, how did it make you feel, right? Because that will help, that dialogue will help you become more aware of what it was all about, whether you want to do it again, or what was the important part. Like, for example, it was important for me that there are a lot of birds, because I just love watching them and they give me so much joy. Okay, so I'm gonna go someplace where there are a lot of interesting species of birds next time, maybe specifically that. Or I like to be more in the forest than somewhere in the meadow or in the field or in the park, right? So yeah, maybe like when there are a lot of trees around and not many people, right? So maybe next time you will go and find something in the forest setting, or actual forest, national park that has forest in it. We have a lot of those in our area at least. amazing. So I hope this was useful for you guys, and hopefully you will be able to use the opportunities that we have, at least in our area. For now, the weather is beautiful, and people are going to be doing a lot of fall events, like leaf falling, like leaf foliage events, and apple gathering, and pumpkin picking, and all of those awesome things in nature. And I think the more conscious you are about what this experience is giving you, what kind of opportunities it's opening up in you, the more efficient and the more enjoyable it's going to be. Okay, I hope this is good for you guys. Thank you so much for being with me here today, and until the next time.